Rather wholesale. Here in Abosokai, the leaders are saying that some foreign nationals, especially the Nigerians, are engaging in retail business, which is affecting their business. And so today, 8th September 2025, they are in the market enforcing that law that they close their shops and come to the table for a discussion on how to go about it. Now, we spoke with the General Secretary. She's in the person of Cynthia Fianu. She spoke to Metro News.
We, the association, we have taken it upon ourselves to deal with this matter internally here, because it's affecting we the directly. So we want to deal with this program directly. We are giving them 3 days to do this. Today we'll go around. We'll go humbly talk to them for them to understand. Then we talk to their leaders on Wednesday. If they hit to listen to us, that's where we bring in the authorities. We send our letter to the police, give them 5 days, and then write a letter to all the institutions that they're supposed to come in. And then from there, we do what we want to do.
We also spoke to the president and chairman of the association, Henry Ochri Jr.
So what they do is, once they wholesale to you, they sit in their shops to also do retail, and it's affecting our market. You understand? Because we can't sit in a market and foreigners are supplying and retailing. So which is which? We can't compete with them. It's the reason why we are not selling. We can't sell in the market. And plus, they have a working capital, and their interest rates in their countries are very low. Ours are very high, so it's challenging. You cannot compete with them. They will bring their goods from Nigeria, Turkey, Dubai, China, bring it into the market, start selling and making huge margins of profit. And we cannot compete because our banks are giving us high interest rates.
And finally, also with the head of communication for the association, Techi Ado, he emphasized the need for the retail market to close down, especially foreign nationals who engage in it.
We don't have money to compete with them. Our interest rate is 30 to 40%. Look at exchange rate. Even though exchange rate is very okay, but it's not picking up. But where's the dollar? You don't get it. How can you tell? Go to the port, 55% as a percentage. Nigeria 15%. Can you compare them? Cote d'Ivoire, their interest rate is 7.5%. Nigeria less than 20%. Ghana 30 to 40%. Does it make sense? Doesn't make sense. Nigerians are the African superpowers, so you can't compete with them when it comes to fiscal cash. Let's protect our own. Simple.
There can say Nigeria say store no because of Nigeria yeah they store in Ghana 1 billion. Ghana say Nigeria never 1 billion. Near their man. No so the nyama eshem then Ghana need to no Nigeria need to and to no so asante tisu e be na yesu papa mu ya kusino mu no be anya scam ye mpa mu a omu ko ada so mu do mu nyama be breye no mu do abra amode amagana for no mati talk ni aton amomu be anya so be di store Nigeria ni what the store Ghana ni chain Nigeria na di store Ghana chain Ghana ni turn there 2 billion Nigeria ni turn there 1.5 obi asuma be kasi ko Nigeria ni o do mu ye na enye
Reporting from Metro News, Vanessa Edotomboating, Abosokai, Accra.
So I'm a scholar, right? And one of the things we do as scholars is research. So if you look at the mandate of the University of Ghana, and even what we use for promotion, it has to do with scholarly works, right? Your research and your publications. Second, teaching, right? And then the third is professional service, your service to community, institutions, to the state and at large. So research work and consultancy is one of the key things that we do as scholars in academia. And if you are a road contractor, for example, and you are known to be one of the best in the area of construction, and you are perhaps an NDC contractor, will you say that if MPP is in government and they give you a road contract to do, you won't do it because it's MPP government? Or assuming that you sell provisions in the market, Makola market, then somebody come to buy and it's an MPP person, you say, oh, because he's MPP, you won't buy for him. That's your business. That's how you earn your living. And that particular research that they were talking about It was given to a very good student that I supervised, one of my PhD students. He's a very good guy, and I've done a lot of research work for him, with him, national. So he recruited me. He co-opted me into that particular project. And even his people raised eyebrows because they said, oh, people said he's NDC person. Why are you bringing him? I said, he's the best guy you can get. So for the fact that even MPP people recognizes that I'm one of the best guys to do this, it's a plus for my constituency because we have a lot of researchers in academia who are openly MPP and who are openly NDC, and those who hedge, right? So for them to even recognize, notwithstanding the fact that there's a little bit of a challenge in my positionality in the research, they still thought that I was one of the best ways. Then we did the work and we submitted it. And what happens as part of research is what we call the ethics of the process. Whatever you discover, whatever you find, the report, you only share it confidentially with the people who have commissioned you to do that. I haven't breached any of the research processes, whether I was NDC or MPP. Nobody knows what I have done except those who have commissioned me to do that. So it's part of my work as a consultant, and I earn a living from it. So it's just like telling me if you are NDC and MPP government is fine, they pay your salary, don't take it. It doesn't work that way, right? So that was just, you see, when people dig your background to get a debt and they don't get a debt, they come out with things that even show your strength as a person. Because how many researchers do we have in this country? So for people to recognize your merit and give a work to you to do, it means that you are one of the best. And it's a plus for my constituency that have a skills like that. If you set up a fund like that, so if I set up I say I'm going to set up the Honorable Murtala Mohammed Education Fund. So the first thing I'll do, I'm going to commit some aspect of my MP's Command Fund to it. I'm also going to speak to a lot of their seasoned businessmen in this community who can help. I've worked with a lot of institutions and organizations, both local and international, who support educational endeavors and provide funds and scholarships. I'm going to network with them and to make sure that we get those funds flowing. So I think one, I'm going to leverage on a lot of my international and local networks. I'm going to liaise up with people, credible, well-endowed people here in the constituency and within Dagbon in general to be able to support. But I'm also going to commit an aspect of the MP's Common Fund to be able to do that. So it's a kind of networking that we're going to use, not just me alone. And you've seen things succeed. And I've built a lot of network within academia. I'm just from there. And I've done that when I was head of Department of Political Science, liaising up with institutions that were giving me scholarship every year to be able to give to students within the department. So I'm going to use the same leverage and networks to be able to make sure that funds flow into that particular education fund, and then we help our people. Now we can go to the women. So the women are largely the bread basket of the constituency. They do not form majority of the population, but most of them are into trade and other things. I know one of the difficulties in being a profession like that is source of funding to be able to do your business. So what I intend doing is, one, to see how the Women's Development Bank that the party has set up can help in this particular regard. But also I'm going to leverage on my well-established gender-based networks, the female-dominated networks that are readily available and have been providing support. So what we also do is that we give them capacity building training, especially the young ones, give them specialized training to be able to start their own businesses. Those who rely so much on funds, we're going to make sure that we raise enough funds to be able to help them expand, and then to be able to help those who still haven't started to start something. So I think there's a lot of plans in progress that I'm going to add to the initiatives that our previous MP, our former MP, late MP started. So it's going to be a continuity of both the two-pronged approaches, and then we'll see how we can help develop the constituency.
$20 million. Let's share the $20 million contract for 50 people, and we see how much we can do. Okay, see, we need to build the party. We cannot build the party if we resource people. Here is also no which we can say any party in oh, the agency of over more than 12 applicants. Position Ojao and this for the fiddling. Now to you, you see, any NPP and these same people are coming to you Don't sell yourself cheap. So I be a friend in your friend. So who clean in your Jumaye and now bang your Jumaya and Poguna and Modin Man Adachi, everything on what here. Man Adachi, everything on what here. The Yami party welfare in Yami. We need to build this party. Okay? And you will sell and listen. Can you believe that? I think 5 contestants, what was the development fee? We have 4 million. 4 million because party any capital. 400,000. Maybe 500,000. Now, we don't feel so good here. It's my fat uncle. I want to branch back to the room. Now 4 million no they buy. Now say 4 million. I joke like look. And then Samewa, me mama deadline. Set on the 5th, a deadline to bring my 4 million. So I have to give them 4 million. Yes. Until filing, contesting as a flag bearer, 4.6 million.
Top of the issues is the Ghana Black Stars. I don't know if we should mourn them, we should celebrate them, we should sack them, we should dissolve them, we should ignore them, we should interfere with GFA so that FIFA will ban us. What exactly do you think we should do? I mean, top of the issues is the Ghana Black Stars. I don't know if we should mourn them, we should celebrate them, we should sack them, we should dissolve them, we should ignore them, we should interfere with GFA so that FIFA will ban us. What exactly do you think we should do? I mean, top of the issues is the Ghana Black Stars. I don't know if we should mourn them, we should celebrate them, we should sack them, we should dissolve them, we should ignore them, we should interfere with GFA so that FIFA will ban us. What exactly do you think we should do? I mean, what scoreline are we expecting?
Well, for the scoreline, I must say that it will be a very difficult game, a very close, very tight game against Mali. As a Ghanaian, I will be very happy to see Ghana winning. But I must be sincere to people. The way we've played so far, especially under Otuado, in difficult times, in big games, my hopes are not up to 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. If he gets things right, especially from the selection of players, the game planning to the game, how he read the game very well to affect his substitutions. His substitutions should be influenced by the real game situations, not by the fact that he feels like this player has to play.
That's how you
know, sometimes.
Sometimes. You suspect that.
Yeah, sometimes. Because there are two players that can deceive a coach. We have those who want to play and those who have to play.
Who have to play.
Yeah, those who want to play and those who have to play. If you are not careful with these two, you will always
and
get
he's
it
always
wrong.
He's always going for those who have to play. Ghana we did. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll win.
Yeah.
We'll win.
I hope
think
so.
1-0 will be a fair result.
Let me predict 2-0.
2-0. 2-0. There is no way Blasters can score 2 goals against Mali. Mali will not retaliate.
So
no.
2-1.
2-1, yeah.
Fair.
Either 1-0 or 2-1. The moment Ghana will score 2, Mali will score 1. So either 1-0 or 2-1. Yeah. So let's see who wins between me and you. I am rooting for 1-0. You are going for 2-1.
Yeah. 2-1. Okay. Like
if care is not taken, Mali will score first goal at Accra Sports Stadium. If care is not taken, we need to get the first half right.
We'll score first.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
Well, let's do the bet. Let's start the betting now. Yeah, 2-1. Please bet on 2-1.
Yes, I'm one of free. Eh? Hey, no, yes, I'm one of free. Jam, yes, I'm one of free. Eh? Yes, I'm one of free. Eh? No, yes, I'm one for a jam. I'm one for free.
The whole team, I mean, everybody was very disappointing after the draw and Chad. The expectation was high for us to win, and yeah, we were disappointed. We analyzed the game very well, and hope that we learned out of this, and we surely, I'm very, very sure we show another face here in Accra. Yeah, surely it's easier to play at home with our spectators supporting us, pushing our last percentage out of the bodies of the players, but also to play in the evening on grass. I expect a different face of the players. I think, yeah, I hope that we learned out of the mistakes we did against Chad, and yeah, the good thing is at the end we still have it in our own hands. We have to keep the pace high. It will be very, very difficult. Yeah, we are looking for all kind of players, and yeah, at the end I have to choose. Like I said, there were a lot of difficulties, not only with Derek. Thomas Partey was sick. Jico had to go for a medical check in Moscow. And we have other injuries, but it's not an excuse. We should have definitely at least when we lead won this game, and we have to do better, like I said. The positive truth is nothing has changed. So we are 3 points. We were 3 points ahead the second, and this was the status quo. For us, nothing has changed. We wanted to beat Mali at home, and this is what we're looking for. And so it's. The only positive thing about the Chad game is we still have it in our own hands, and we still can decide our own destiny. So we will put everything in this game to win this game.
Goalie. Pate, the pass was there ready. Why? Champion player. Kudus. Yo, Kudus. Kudus. The pass was not ready. Why? The pass was not ready. The American be. Why? Aye. And it's not my way. You feeling the rough, me who know. Hey, whoa. Oh boy, ewa. You feeling the rough. And that's so. You feeling rough. And that's so. The pass was not ready, Mr. Wati.
Now I can start, right? Yeah. I'm cooking. Yeah. My name is Prosecution, and I'm very happy to be here. DJ, Ray Oviedo, and 27 years of age. The position is central midfield. Which flag did you take?
After freestyle.
Free header. Got match now. There's a chance again. Rolling back. Back out to Yanko. Good ball in. Good head off the post. Brilliant. Rolling back. Through the chance. It's good. It's a chase. Get full nicely. Double march. Perseverance. Almost the shot comes in. Brilliant. The captain leads by example. Does Yusto Changama. Precious goal. Look what it means to the travelling backs. Well, it was a perfectly balanced game. And look at that for an opportune strike. Changama in the right place at the right time defies Changama's return to the starting 11. He sprang the offside trap. Top marks to Saeed. His determination and fighting spirit. Take the shot. Back here. Deep delivery. It's deep. It was Comoros' way. Selamani. Changama. Out to... Oh! The Ross lacked the precision. Lovely ball. Saeed. Leading his captain. First time in any way of Central African Republic. Good burst of speed. That's behind the defence. Goalkeeper's missed it, and so did the attacker. Selemani. Second chance. Ball comes in. And there it is! Terrific play. 2-0. Wonderful individual effort by Niziama Uda. Once again, cursing their way through the club defence. One try for the Trafford fans.
It's God's will at Pabio Stadium. It's our venue for this evening's match. It is Group C clash between Nigeria Super Eagles and Rwanda. And Alexi Wobi also, of course, plays for Fulham there in the Premier League. Lookman, and then prodded home, but the flag will go up for offside. It's still alive here for the Super Eagles. The shot from range with Freddy Titi. Looking for what would have been his first international goal in his 64th. Back in 2004 in Tunisia. Is this a good run? And a chance! With the casual there trying to finish. Oh, it's gone in! Over the line! That has gone in. That will count. I'm not sure who will get it. It's Arogodare that celebrates it. His second goal in his 5th cap for the big man from Wolves. Emmanuel Tolu Arogodare makes the breakthrough. Rwanda will be bitterly disappointed with how they defended that. They've been so resolute at the back. There's no keeping that man mountain out. Man is marking, glancing.
Chan warm up.
Go.
Chan warm up.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today is the 9th of September 2025. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. I would say good morning to you and for tuning in to Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Awudu Moro. It's always a pleasure coming your way. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad, and we want to say a big thanks to the Almighty God for giving us that rare privilege of returning here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. So let's look at the newspaper headlines straight away. Now, Daily Graphic this morning says, Black Stars on course for World Cup. Jiku ends Mali's dream. 3 years on, Apiatse, livelihoods remain shattered. New buildings, street hide empty promises, idling funds. President Mahama donates 20,000 cedis protective equipment to, actually 20,000 protective equipment to share collectors. The Ghanaian Times. NTC MD proceeds on leave prior to early retirement. President Mahama engages media tomorrow. Linda Oklu advocates use of internet wisely by students. Ayunsu starch factory goes waste. Residents appeal to government for its reactivation. Asamankese chieftaincy dispute Royal Ekwia Kurang family appeals for government intervention. Daily Guide. Azuma Ghana rejects E&P takeover report. ECG demands 225% tariff increase. Police arrest Abronya DC. Address Asamankese disputes Habrade Akwamu chief. Newly posted teachers bare teeth over arrears. The Inside newspaper. Reparations. Forward by President John Mahama on the history, struggle, politics, and law. Free Palestine, stop the killings. Ghanaians hold candlelight to protest against Israel's genocidal war in Gaza. Pupils scale 6-feet wall to school as Trasacco Estate builds fence over classrooms. And then there's Ghana's Esther Koba, appointed first African president of IPRA. NDC government CEA launches free education for non-literate adults and children. Removal of Chief Justice, judicial independence or judicial impunity, Thaddeus Sori writes. The New Republic. The New Republic. Shadowy Godfather pulls OSP strings, ghost employees and backroom deals at the Office of Special Prosecutor. Treasury auction rebounds, ending 4-week slump with 4.36 billion haul. MPP's Abronya nabbed. That's Bono Regional Chairman. Abronya is in police custody just days after seeking asylum in 8 countries. Western Balkan gangs turn West Africa into a cocaine superhighway. Professor Kweku Azar drops bombshell on Oral. US-based professor's 10-step blueprint to save Oral as NDC becomes caught in backroom deals. The spy, the pastor, and the 49 million cedi scandal. Edubuahin Abundance Church runs into Duncan Williams' arms for protection. Daily Post. Abronya in police grips for offensive conduct. This is not the time to attack people in the market. GIPC CEO tells Abosiokai spare parts dealers. So that's it for the front page of the various newspapers that we have received this morning. Let's now check out what's on metrotvonline.com. Check this one out.
What scoreline are we expecting?
Well, for the scoreline, I must say that it will be a very difficult game, a very close, very tight game against Mali. As a Ghanaian, I will be very happy to see Ghana winning. But I must be sincere to people. The way we've played so far, especially under Otuado, in difficult times, in big games, my hopes are not up to 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. If he gets things right, especially from the selection of players, the game planning to the game, how he read the game very well to affect his substitutions. His substitutions should be influenced by the real game situations, not by the fact that he feels like this player has to play.
That's how he's been behaving. You think you suspect that?
Yeah, sometimes because there are two players that can deceive a coach. We have those who want to play and those who have to play.
Who have to play?
Yeah, those who want to play and those who have to play. If you are not careful with these two, you will always get
he's always going for those who have to play. Ghana we did. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll win.
Yeah,
we'll win.
I hope
so. I think 1-0 will be a fair result.
Let me predict 2-0.
2-0. 2-0. There is no way Blasters can score 2 goals against Mali. Mali will not retaliate.
So
no.
2-1.
2-1, yeah.
Fair.
Either 1-0 or 2-1. The moment Ghana will score 2, Mali will score 1. So either 1-0 or 2-1. Yeah. So let's see who wins between me and you. I am rooting for 1-0. You are going for
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Chechia winning nara, me ding edge baby dapa, me dia sonko crane bremo. Now the 20 and one would be an ed depana me de bremo. And no any some spices. Some spices in here, and wow no mebreo, various flavors, ubenya a yako, ubenya nemchi, you do good jollof woman and we get dead, ubenya you do quam, you do for you, hot nako pibito, na emma with Gianni, and yet dead. When you mean ya, young con your cocoa now for Eka.
Down your communication, you all enjoy Uduba, that some spices. One in the essence, no time. I'm going to get that. Some spices in a BTA, daddy so say. Some spices, Munsam.
Some spices, Yama chicken.
Some spices.
In Sanaka in Kitswa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, and the flavors alpha bebre.
Some spices, yes, Saka.
FDIJ Jadian Kratuatum. Rush, 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 young kids. Rush, 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 2 times a day. Rush like
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids, happy smile.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Go be from Georgia, be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be lucky, luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That Kwame! Send your God up boom. If you put it toye, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car? Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. This show is also live on 94.1 FM on your radio dial, so that you have an alternative in case you can't watch us on TV. So joining us this morning for, as usual, what promises to be a very, very interesting and intellectually stimulating and a riveting conversation are two gentlemen here. One is a doctor, as in PhD, and one is not. So joining us in a very, very long time, it's Dr. Elvis Botha. Dr. Elvis Botha is a former MPP Deputy National Organizer. He is also a lecturer at UPSA. Dr. Elvis Botha, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Moro, my brother. Hope you are doing good. It's fine to be here again and to have an interaction with our cherished viewers. And,
long time.
Actually, it's been long. What for do? We are managing small.
I think the last time you came on Good Morning Ghana must have been like 5 years ago.
Yes. The last time I was here, I mean, for Good Morning Ghana was about 5 years, around 2019.
Yeah,
so this was actually at
Laboni.
the Laboni place. And then I think that I was in the studio again, but not for Good Morning Ghana, to analyze the NPP's internal elections when the parliamentary primaries were ongoing.
I recall that.
Yes, but I'm here, and I think I crossed Edem a bit of times at
Your brother from another mother.
Yes, sir.
That's Eric Edem Agbana, who is a MP for K2 North, and I call him a youth activist. He's very passionate about the youth, so no wonder his constituents are so much in love with him. Eric, bro, how are you now? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Been a while.
It's been a while.
To meet my brother. It's been a while.
It's really been a while.
Dog.
Eric, I mean, I've been wanting to ask you, do you get time to rest at all? He's either at a fora or a forum. He's either traveling, he's with his constituents, you know.
Edem symbolizes that real grassroots connect from MPs. And I think
and it looks like everybody wants a piece of him. Everybody wants a piece of him.
It only means that he should be grown more bigger so that everyone
can
have a piece of him.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but anyway, how do you manage it?
It's by God's grace. But eventually we'll have to, we have to just do the work. Even in the Bible, there's a verse that says, I must do the work of him who sent me while it is day.
Right.
Because the night is coming when no man can work. So this is the time that we have to put our youthful energy into the work, into service for God and country. So we are doing our best. It's not easy.
Right.
I must say it gets tiring, very tiring, but we are on it.
For God and country.
But
you, I mean, I think if it feels good. The last time you came here, you were Mr. Elvis
Yes,
Botha.
I was Mr.
You're now Dr. Elvis Botha.
Congratulations to you.
Briefly tell us how the journey has been.
I mean, well,
first of all, what motivated you to go into
the
PhD?
glory of
Where
God.
did you read it? What did you do? You know?
Okay, so basically, for people who know me very well, I'm actually extremely bookish. And I love to interrogate knowledge and the co-creation of same from very critically objective point of view. And so that has been my inspiration to chase knowledge. And in fact, prior to studying for my PhD, I had already done about 3 masters before I ventured into the PhD. And so I pursued the Doctor of Philosophy in International Affairs and Diplomacy at the University of Ghana. LESIAD precisely, even though my experiential and other doctoral-related trainings took me out there largely, to Europe. One thing about the PhD is that it's actually more of an apprenticeship, course. And your worth in this is predicated on the people through whom you have gone. My key inspiration have also been to ensure that we leverage on sound doctrine of knowledge, engineering, social sciences, and humanities, to be able to, one, impact in generations upcoming, and two, to be able to break away from emotional politics and other policy-related issues in public affairs, and to bring knowledge, real knowledge, to a practical point that transforms, society. So you realize that there were times I would take stands politically, and Adam knows this, that looks quite controversial when my party was in government. But I think that it is the essence of knowledge. At the university where I lecture, I think that the best thing I'm doing is to go beyond just giving knowledge, to mentoring people into responsible youth leadership. Well, today we have cause to praise my brother Adam, who by all standards is showing to be an outstanding member of parliament and demonstrating that the youth can do it. Why is it so? It is so largely because Adam have submitted to learning. And so for me, critically, that is it. I went for elections in 2016, contested the current Speaker of Parliament. I lost. I didn't feel bad. I used the opportunity to go back to school. I lost the 2020 elections again in Adoli-Kelio constituency, by which time I was actually already on the PhD program as a candidate. I actually started in 2019. And so fast forward by 2023, I had submitted my thesis for examination and subsequently defended. And today, to the glory of God, this is where we are. So as for the many crowns of God, they are appointed unto us. One, to serve, and two, to bear as worthy witnesses to the testimony of God. I hope that I'm able to impact the Ghanaian society with my intellect and knowledge, especially in the area of international affairs and global security, which is my expertise. So it's good. As for the journey itself, you ask, it's been laborious. And especially at a point in time, I had to combine some advanced legal studies at the University of Law concurrently, with my PhD dissertation. And the dissertation alone is big. Law is also another big thing. But here we are. Yes. So we are moving on, bro.
I see. And you read this program where? You read it in the UK?
I read my PhD at the University of Ghana, Legon. Okay. I did indicate it was at LESIAD. Okay. Exhausted the coursework. Right. Yes, before actually going to the UK and Estonia and other parts of Europe. Right. Even at some point in Russia to study take up various courses in global security and military science.
Wow. Dr. Elvis Butter. You're a big man.
To the glory of God, we are growing. Baby steps, we are growing.
I admire people who always pursue knowledge and pursue further studies and so on. So congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
And congratulations. And we can only wish you well.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
So how long have you been lecturing now? Are you PSA?
Yes. For a little over a year. I've been lecturing at the UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research. And I concentrate in the areas of peace and conflict studies, international relations, and strategic studies. I mean, these are postgraduate level courses, but I also take, undergraduate courses, level 300, 400. I mean, a few credit hours of that. That is where the real training of the youngsters are. And so shout out to the University for Professional Studies. It's a good university, and we're contributing our professional scholarship to support the growth of Ghana and Africa largely. Yes.
Right. Adam, as we always do as part of the tradition, I'll allow you to also give your opening remarks.
Yes.
But whilst at it, I'd want you to, when Elvis was talking, he first of all espoused his personal ideological leanings in terms of, not in terms of political party ideological leanings, but he talks about his worldview, i.e., he believes that in politics, you must be able to speak the truth regardless of what situation or circumstance you find yourself in. In fact, that is what has largely informed his decision to pursue what he pursued at a PhD level. It is something that I would want you to weigh on, because I am hoping that our politics will get to a point where people are allowed to speak their minds depending on how they see things without necessarily being either ostracized or face any sort of internal, what I'll call disciplinary action of a sort just because they spoke in their minds. I mean, today you're sitting here, if you feel a certain minister is not doing their work properly or they're not living up to expectations, when are we going to get to the point where them can sit here and say, look, I mean, well, my brother, you need to sit up without, entertaining any fears of being, you get the point I'm making?
Yes.
So when we're done with your opening remarks, I don't know whether you would want to weigh in on that, where our politics must get to that point.
Maybe I should, yes. So let me start with my opening remarks. But first, let me say good morning to our cherished viewers across the world, and to my brother Elvis, everyone else who is keenly monitoring this program, especially to the good people of Ketu North. Muro, today for my opening remarks, I want to commend two state institutions, two agencies, for the good work they are doing. Very often, we only discuss some of these agencies when they are in the news for the bad reasons. But I think it's also proper that when you identify what some of the agencies are up to, what they are doing, we commend them so that others can emulate, others can learn from them and also do same. The first is the National Youth Authority. Last week, the authority organized a very, very successful National Youth Conference at the Gomwa Fete at the Pentecost Convention Center. On the first day, I was on the panel with my brother Asafo Eje, MP for Bosumi Freon, Sawa Amire, and one other lady from one of the international organizations. I forgot her name. But that program, that conference, which brought together young minds, young people from every part of the country. The organization was so properly done such that people from almost every district were well represented. And so it wasn't a conference where people were bussed from Accra or just one area and placed in a room, but youth leaders, stakeholders in youth-related issues, all the allied agencies were well represented. And I think that the youth minister, the Honorable George Opariado, and Osman Ayariga, who heads the NYA, deserves commendation for that program. Now, at the program, many critical issues were looked at, and we looked into some government policies. And one of the things that came out from the conference is the fact that young people are getting to a point where we are no more patient with governments that hand over tokens to us. We want governments to invest in sustainable opportunities. So don't engage us for programs that pays us 400 cedis, 500 cedis monthly, and for 2 years, 3 years, the program ends and we are back to the bracket of unemployment because you really cannot make any good savings from your 400 or 250 Ghana cedis, that pittance that they pay. And so young people are now looking for investment in more sustainable projects, sustainable job opportunities, so that governments can end this cycle of tokenism and invest properly in the energies of young people. Right. That for me is an indication that policymakers must rise to the occasion, because the young people are getting fed up with the tokenism.
Right.
And Osman organized a very successful program, and we looked at various aspects of youth-related issues. Unfortunately, post the program, maybe they have not done too well with the media or public relations aspect of the program, because the kind of rich content that some of us heard at the program, some of those issues should be dominating the headlines by now. But after Friday, I have really not seen much being reported about that program. And so while commending them, I will ask them to work harder in the area of PR, because people need to know what went on. The second day, Chief of Staff was there. I listened to his speech, great speech, fantastic speech that is also not really dominating the headlines, to my surprise. When you go to Rwanda, they have this annual program called the Rwanda Youth Forum or Conference, Muru. It is one of the biggest events on their calendar every year, one of their biggest events. And we must get there. I think the NYA should consider doing this at the Elwak Stadium or maybe even the Accra Sports Stadium in subsequent years. It must not be just an event for this year, something that we must institute so that we can tap into the energies of young people.
Right.
Moro, my second institution that I want to comment is the DVLA.
Okay.
I have monitored their performance over the period and the innovation. Look, when you are appointed or given a position to serve the people of Ghana, your job as a leader is not to just go and maintain the status quo and polish the status quo for it to look good. You must be creative. You must be innovative. People want service delivery to be more convenient. Why we have Goro boys in the system across almost every public service delivery system is the fact that the bureaucracy and the fact that the institutions themselves are not innovative enough to meet the demands of the people. And so Guru boys all over the place and all of that. But today, we are seeing a more refined DVLA that constantly innovations targeted at making it more convenient for people to register their motorbikes, their vehicles, and what have you. These are systems that we must be highlighting. Yesterday, I saw something new from them, that today you can actually reserve your number, a special number, even before you complete the process of registration. Now, let me tell you, there are people who cash out of car owners at the end of the year because maybe, Moro, you want a particular number. So, for example, my car number is a number that is the first car my father bought.
Right.
That was the number that he used.
Right.
So I wanted to have that number in memory of him.
Right.
And so in order to get the number, there are many people in the value chain who you may have to pay or give some money to. You struggle to get this. But today, if I'm planning to buy a car even in the next 2 years, in the next 2 months, or I have the car, but I'm yet to clear it, DVLA is telling me that starting from 2026, I can reserve the number. I'll pay something. So the government is earning. So what would have gone to Goro boys into other people's personal pockets, today will go into the state coffers. And that will be used for developmental projects. I want to commend Julius Ni Kwe Logas.
Abbey. You left out the Abbey.
The Abbey is part of his name. His names are two. I've always known him as Logas. I've always known him as Logas. The other names are too many for me to mention. But I think the gentleman must be, and then the board chair.
Okay.
Nisowa, Spencer.
Right.
I've always known Spencer as very sharp IT person. And so I'm not surprised that he at DVLA as board chair, we are seeing some of these innovations. More, I want to encourage them to keep working harder.
Okay.
Let's serve the Ghanaian people with more innovative products.
Right.
So that the votes and the confidence they give us in December 2024 will reflect in the kind of service that we deliver to the Bamboro.
Yeah.
I have a very big concern.
It's actually Julius Nikwe Kote. Sorry, I said that big. It's
Julius Nikwe Kote.
Yes, sorry, I made a mistake.
The Muru, I have another concern.
Okay.
I was in the constituency over the weekend.
Okay.
And I have a near crisis in my constituency as we speak.
Okay.
My rice farmers. You know, I told you here before that Ketu North, we are the biggest rice producing districts in the whole country. When you go to Avalavi, Klenomadi, Veda, Afife, and its enclave, all that, my people, all we do is that we are rice farmers. And according to JICA, we produce the best quality rice in the whole country. But there's little or no attention on us. As we speak, bro, my farmers have produced rice, they have harvested, and the rice is sitting there in sacks, and there's no market for it. They are crying. I will invite you, you and your team, production team. Come, I'll take you there. So you see how my farmers are crying that there's no market for the local rice. Which policies? And government must be interested in this because if we are complaining that the import cover for rice exceeds 1.5 billion and we want to solve that problem, we should be interested in providing market for the local rice. What do we do? How do we? Buffer stock, the National Buffer Stock Company and the many others, they must be interested. Get there and buy the rice from the farmers. Because it is the season, they are there now, they have started reducing the price drastically to be able to make something, small on the rice. I don't think that when things continue this way, it will encourage many young people to go into agriculture. I keep saying, Namoro, if you are telling young people to venture into agriculture, which we are doing, we must remember that agriculture is an entirely big value chain. It is not just about going into the agriculture. You must be interested in providing the market for what they produce. You must be interested in supporting them with tools or equipment for irrigation. You must be interested in supporting us with the necessary environment to make agriculture thrive. So imagine, after encouraging people to go into farming, that even rice that is produced, it is difficult for them to get market for it. Please, we need to do more in terms of investment in the entire value chain. I understand that is what the 24-hour economy, the Secretariat, the Grow 24 is supposed to solve. I'm inviting all of them. From here, I will proceed to National Buffer Stock Company.
Right.
And I've started some engagements with them. That, look, come down to the level of the farmers and buy the rice from them. Store it. Then you can supply it to the senior high schools and use it to feed. My prayer is that by December, the chief of staff or the presidency should release the statement, making it compulsory for every state institution that will be parceling or giving out rice to their workers. It must be local rice. That any state institution that will give out an imported rice, whoever has that institution must be sanctioned. If we want to encourage local production, we must also encourage consumption. So I am begging the government, I'm begging the ministry, I'm begging Buffer Stock Bureau on your platform that I beg them. My farmers in Avalavi, Apipe, Veta, Klenomadi, and its areas, they are on their knees. They want their rice to be bought for them. I beg them. Thank you.
All right. So just brief thoughts on speaking your mind.
Yes.
Within your political
yeah,
party.
Muru, you asked,
and how sometimes people fear of being victimized.
Well, Muru, I think that the challenge is that we work in a whip system.
Right.
Our politics basically is working around or revolves around a certain whip system. It is not as though people don't speak their mind or don't disagree. When you are on our platforms, and I know, I'm sure on your platforms as well, because in the past we have seen some leak chats from both parties on hardcore, sometimes even on our platform as maybe majority MPs, majority caucus, we do disagree with each other. It is there. But you see, the way we operate, I may disagree with my leadership on a particular matter, but because that may be the position of the entire party and it's articulated, it may amount. There are limits, there are certain restrictions, because it may amount to indiscipline if you, out of the entire, system, you openly disagree. It doesn't mean that every decision taken by government, even people at cabinet, agree. There are times you know how it is done. But it is, we all know that when you go for management meeting, for example, and you agree to pursue cause A, one person or two people disagree with cause A, but majority says it's cause A, it will amount to, insubordination for the two to openly come out to say, as for us, we dissent. You can express your dissent internally, and so there are systems like that. And the NDC encourages dissent a lot. I was a national executive, and I tell you, look, in our meetings, even our national chairman, then, the Honorable Samuel Ofuswampo, he openly encouraged dissent. And sometimes, even we, the junior officers, disagreed with the senior officers. But at the end of the day, the majority decision is taken, and whatever we believe would work in the interest of the party and of the country, we pursue. It doesn't mean that we always agree with the decisions that we take. So yes, let's encourage people to speak their mind, but let's not be too expectant that every time you will hear. So today, Dr. Bota is representing the NPP. So he is here to speak the position of the NPP, largely. So imagine that anytime he comes, he is disagreeing with the position of the party that is supposed to be. It is just like being a spokesperson for a company, and then you are
a lawyer debating against the position.
Exactly. It's like you're a lawyer debating against the position of your client. You may, as a lawyer, you may disagree with your client, but you do that internally.
That happens at the firm, at the chambers.
Exactly, at the chambers.
Get to God, you must have your navigating it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that people must have our expectations right.
But do you think this whip system is a good idea?
Well, I think that for organizations,
because sometimes generally people are frustrated.
People are frustrated, yes, and that's why systems exist to make corrections. But to a large extent, I think that the whip system is a good idea.
You think it should be maintained?
No, we can always improve. We can always improve. We can always make it more liberal.
Right.
But it should be maintained. Okay. So I see people in parliament say, oh, well, why all of you are voting yeah, or no. Why should it be? But it's like I'm saying, it's a whip system. We run a 3-line whip. And so your whip basically whips you into the chamber and says that this is the position of the caucus. It amounts to insubordination for you to...
It's a conundrum. Anyway, when I have
it amounts to insubordination for you to always... I mean, you can disagree with the decision, but to, always be fighting the position of the majority, it may not be too proper. We can always improve.
Do I get it that you're saying that, in principle, you don't have a problem with people disagreeing with a policy decision? No. It's the how you disagree.
Yes, it's the how you disagree. Because currently, we have had systems where we've disagreed with each other. I mean, it happens. We have NDC, even as within our party today, I've heard people speak in a certain way, which shows that they disagree with certain actions of the government.
Okay.
They do it all the time, and we do it all the time.
Okay.
But like I'm saying, it is how you do it, how you express it, that matters. I don't think there is any law that says that you cannot disagree with your party. People do disagree. We all do disagree with our party on a number of issues. But it is how you disagree. But again, Muru, you don't expect the spokesperson for an organization to go out there and in his or her remarks be speaking against the organization that he's speaking for, or he's supposed to be speaking for. So I think we just have to manage our expectations with some of these things.
All right, Elvis.
So for a moment, I shared in the sentiments of my brother relative to the position of the farmers in his constituency.
Yeah.
And what Adam have said largely reflects the situation on the ground when it comes to the agronomic sector in our agriculture in particular. So you realize that the whole issue have got to do with, post-harvest, problems. In our part of the world, the truth of the matter is that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. But successive governments, including the current administration, doesn't seem to take the issue and business of agriculture too serious. Because if we are minded truly that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy, one, providing direct jobs for majority of our rural folks, two, actually also making key interventions in the area of food security, then what reasonable governments globally would want to do would always be to direct a chunk of government facility not only into encouraging people to farm. Because look, Moro, let me tell you, by the nature of our sociology, whether we like it or not, we are engaged in farming. Either we are fishers, or we are into livestock, or we are into crop production. And so I don't think it's going to be a difficulty to convince people and the youth to go in. So it's actually the reverse, that governments have not been able to provide adequate infrastructure that is required to commercialize and industrialize agriculture. Until you industrialize agriculture, you cannot commercialize it. And so the issue Adam is talking about rice and whatnot, we've only heard it in rhetorics, on the floor of parliament, in government policies, we have heard these things. But the critical question is, what is government doing today to ensure that, one, we have rice processing factories? Because you see, if you talk about a value chain, as he mentioned, a value chain means also then that there are varied stakeholders along that chain, and these varied stakeholders comes with varied interest. So you cannot take the issue of consumer taste out of the equation when discussing things like this. Now, in a liberalized global political economy, you will have a situation where the consumer have got rights of protection and have actually got right of choice. So in so doing, if you do not, a nation that is not deliberate about ensuring the creation of not just market, but markets with value-added goods, then you realize that your own populations, who are actually the consumers, will begin to revolt against that which you are pushing into the market for them. So the irresponsibility of government in creating the kind of system that is required to add value is the reason for the lack of markets. It's not only rice. A lot of maize and granules actually go bad. So to what extent are we also putting in to research to ensure that even the quality of these things are so good that they are not only good enough for the Ghanaian market, but they are also good for the international market. And this is where issues of galamsey and the extreme chemicalization of our water bodies comes to play. Because, I mean, Moro, Adam, watch it. The reality is that a lot of the rice we produce, a lot of the cassava we produce, and varied other foods are very much fested with a lot of hard metals, to the extent that when it comes to the international certification required to have them out there in the market, we do not have it. I am expectant that the much sermonized and pontificated 24-hour economy, which I supported at the time they said it, should be able to tackle these kind of situations.
Okay.
So in Adam's visit to the institutions you mentioned, please ensure that these things are actually implemented. That's the only time we can have people working in a 24-hour economy. Additionally, you also realize then that if you do all of these properly, then it opens up other businesses in the area of branding, in the area of packaging, and that is how a political economy creates jobs.
Right.
So the irresponsibility of government in creating agricultural value chain systems to industrialize agriculture and commercialize it is the problem.
Okay.
Now, on the other issue of speaking your mind.
Okay, now
yes,
before you go there, just 2 minutes, endorse me, please endorse me.
Go ahead.
You're live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please stay with us.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enye. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action.
Me did sasso spray. Mr. Femi sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Come tum preko.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or being late?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God apple boom. If you put it to here, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car? Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
You're live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. With me is Dr. Elvis Bota. He's a former Deputy National Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, but he's now a lecturer at UPSA. And also Eric Edemagbana, MP for Ketu North. Yes, Elvis.
Yes, so thank you, our cherished viewers, and good to continue from where I stopped.
Yeah.
The Temu was gathering more power when we had to go on the commercial break for reasons I understand.
It happens sometimes.
And you do recall I was sharing in the sentiments of my brother, Honorable Agbana, on the issue of, rice farmers in his constituency. And it's my position that, look, it is,
in fact, you ended
it is reflective, reflective of the reality in our system. And the argument I'm advancing this morning is that it behooves on government as a matter of responsibility to actually create that kind of enabling environment with infrastructure that is required to add value to these things. Because you know why? I'm actually weaving this into the need to be, as to whether one has to be outspoken vis-a-vis the whip system in our politics. But Moro, now to add value to agricultural products, to be able as a conduit of creating market for them, which is the commercialization of agriculture, takes a lot of factors beyond marketing and beyond politics into play. Okay, so today we are hearing that there is going to be a DSI, that is the distribution services charge, in our electricity by some 225% proposed to the PURC. So now, in our part of the country, the reality of the matter is that electricity is one of the major things that is required, for private sector companies to be able to process some of these agronomic products. So if government is insistent in actually seeing to the increment of, critical energy security infrastructure and utilization, then clearly we are actually even on a fast race to worsen the situation. So on the heels of what is happening at Ketu North, right? Am I correct with your constituency? Yes. On the heels of what's happening at Ketu North, to save the farmers there and to save farmers in other parts of, the country. I come from the Upper West region. A lot of granules go waste. A lot of maize actually go waste. The Tumu enclave alone is capable of feeding this country. But year in, year out, they go into another agricultural cycle with the goods there. So if we keep increasing electricity, which is required to power industry, then we are not going to be able to help our farmers. So as the broader scheme of creating the kind of market we want, it is important that we call on government to critically look at the issue of the proposed 225% hike in the DCSI, because the distribution service charge is actually a fundamental denominator in the permutation of what tariff we pay. So just in June, there was about a 2.45% tariff increase in domestic electricity consumption. You see, so when we continue to increase the DCSI, what we are doing is to tell even small to medium scale existing entities that are into agronomic processing to actually begin to what? To lower their production. Now, whilst doing so, their counterparts in China, Philippines, and other countries are actually having serious energy subsidies, so much so that they spend very little on energy. And so they are able to produce more, benefit from economies of scale, and come. So I was proposing to him to actually, as part of the 24-hour economy thing his party and government now have the opportunity to do, the issue of energy security should fundamentally be a proposal that must be inculcated in the architecture of it, if at all it will be implemented full. But I believe that will change the narrative, and that will automatically whip up the intrinsic desire of Ghanaian youth to go into farming.
Okay.
To do so requires speaking some bitter truths.
Right.
In a political system that is quite one with a whipping strategy. I agree why politicians and political parties would always whip. You see, there are layers to this conversation. There is a certain core of every political organization. And when you belong there, you are obliged to comply with essentials of confidentiality and secrecy, no matter the situation. The best you can do is to shut up if you think that what the truth you are going to say could be scandalous. Now, that does not mean you shouldn't talk about it. You must have a way of navigating that conversation at the right courtesies. But for me, where the right courtesies are failing to understand that somebody's argument is superior and can better the chances of the government, and by implication, actually better the chances of the economy, then I think that your positionality on the matter should be disclosed. You can say it constructively in the public space in a manner that also allows and whip civil society organizations who have got the lobbying skills to understand your rationale and be able to press government and to actually even instigate legislation where it matters. In our part of the world, I do understand that your ability to constructively criticize within internal matters can be misconstrued to actually mean arrogance on your part. That is the problem we have. And that's where political denial comes in. They will not give you appointments you are due, and so on. It can be very frustrating. But I still think that our democracy is growing, the media landscape is growing, there are several channels of negotiation in public affairs. The youth, teeming youth in our politics should master the courage to confront these realities. So, my brother, you have me. We can join hands to make it happen, because I am particularly interested in pushing this government's 24-hour economy. And I'm sad that 9 months into our regime, I'm not seeing the kind of foundation that is expected. But a lot has started. Let us be able to see the fruits thereof if they have indeed been started.
All right,
anyway, so we can move in.
Let me just say that indeed the 24-hour economy secretariat has been up and running. I am privy to a number of engagements, and the solid foundation that they are building, because largely a number of the initiatives concerns my constituency, because, you know, agriculture is one area that they are really investing into. But I would want to encourage the Secretariat. Moro, what we have and what we are running in our country is a political economy. You need to be able to carry the people along. Because if in 2024, 24-hour economy was our major campaign message and was the major policy that we preached as going to deliver the jobs, and you are doing all the fantastic work. Look, the first time I sat through a presentation by Mr. Gusitano, I made a remark, and I recall that I even wrote it in my diary that this man is so deep and he has a very good understanding of the strategy to industrialize, even agriculture, like you say, to commercialize and what have you. Maybe you need to engage, or they must engage the media more, so that people will be privy to what they are doing. Because, you see, even in the Bible, Moro, it is said that you cannot light a candle or a light and place it under the bed. You need to let it shine. If I've not forgotten my scripture so well, but you are doing so well as a secretariat. The Grow Ghana, Connect 24, Grow 24, and what have you. These are fantastic policies that is a clear departure from the norm, from the politics of tokenism, from the politics of sloganeering. And so we need to carry the people along. Let people really understand when we say Connect 24, what it means.
Don't you think it's still sloganeering to the extent that we're not seeing the variables out there?
Let people understand what we mean by Grow 24. Let's carry the people along.
Okay.
Because they are doing the good work, but we want people to become more aware of the work that they are doing.
Right. So beyond what the ideas mean and stand for, where are we in the scheme of things? I think that's where you're coming from.
That's what I'm saying.
Because that has been missing.
So
then voter will come and say, well, what's happening? We don't know what's happening.
But like I'm saying, they need to be given us
but if
regular.
Do they have a PR? But if the deliverables, Moro, this is important. If the deliverables thereof, remember these are projects.
Right.
If the deliverables thereof must be good, they must be tangible.
Oh no, but
you know, if they must be good, they must be tangible. I'm not disputing your fact that a lot is happening.
Yes.
But I'm saying that, look, you just said it, that we are dealing with a political economy.
Right.
At the heart of the philosophy of political economy are the deliverables and how they satisfy the social contract of the people.
The thing
so
is,
my admonishment,
even if
respectfully.
there are tangible deliverables,
right?
A simple question is, where are we?
Where are we now? That's essentially the point. So if we were to break it into phases, where are we? Because we are almost 1 year in government.
Whatever level, we need to know what's happening.
This same question will ask the MPP, that where are we with the one district, one factory? So where are we with 24-hour economy? Basic.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Let's not reduce the thing to.
By the way, is Gusitano at the Secretariat?
Yes, the regular updates.
Yeah, exactly.
Very necessary.
Yeah, and I think the call you made is a clarion call. It's a very important.
It's clarion.
Because sometimes you go and if you leave a vacuum, okay, you allow the opposition and mischievous characters to keep asking you, what is the 24-hour economy that you promised? What is it? But we know that something is being done.
Okay.
But
I hope the mischievous
the regular no, not at all.
But Adam, you know that
I know.
I controversially supported the concept of 24-hour economy on the same platform with Sami Jemfi, and the platform was a public forum. Now, to have gone to that tangent, I think I am better placed to take government on to ensure that the good in it happens. If the good in the policy does not happen, then it only actually confirms a certain degree of irresponsibility or incompetence on the part of government.
Okay.
And for the next 4 years, that is actually going to be my mandate.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, my party may have been in opposition, but what is the essence of being in opposition?
Okay.
A credible opposition must put the government of the day on its toes.
That's fine.
We agree.
It's legitimate.
It's legitimate concern. And
but
so
you
it's
know
a call to the Secretariat to update us.
There's one person in your party who perhaps may not agree with the position you've taken. And which position is that if you have serious concerns about what's happening in your party, don't go public with it. I think that's the point you're making. Because there are channels through which you can, you can put these issues across and get them addressed.
I think he made that clear that he'll be going to some courtesies.
And that's what I'm saying. Yes, and that's what I'm saying, that there's a very, very important personality in your party who may not, and I'm using may not agree with you. And I'm talking about your general secretary.
Oh,
your chief scribe.
Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about Fifi Fiavikwete. Yes, he may not agree. I mean, he appears to side with those who say, state it publicly and allow the chips to fall where they may, you know. And Fifi Fiavikwete has some concerns. Now, please, let's watch this video. So before we play the Fifi tape, I've just been informed that it appears that the CD is suffering some depreciation, some further depreciation. So this is a daily exchange rate, and we're saying so it's now going for 12 points. If you want to buy the dollar, you buy it at 12.044, cedis. And oh no, please leave it on. So our viewers would want to know what the current exchange rate is. So bring it back whilst we're waiting for the video to play the video. Please bring it back on. Oh, okay. We have a bit of a technical hitch. So I want us to watch this video, and then would come back. Okay. All right. So we'll play the video at some point. But here's the thing. Now it's about the General Secretary, Fifi Fiavikwete, who has stated that your party has picked intelligence of attempts by party members to cut deals with persons on the list of prosecution by the government. Now, speaking at the 5th Annual General Conference of NDC lawyers, he failed to reveal the identity of such persons, but Mr. Kwete says the government will not yield to such attempts. Many among us, despite the fact that pleas and pressure are coming, that punishment has to be meted and this must be done properly. Some among us are busy trying to cut deals with people who are supposed to be prosecuted. He indicated some are becoming conduits through whom pressure is being brought to bear on people who are supposed to do what is right. I may not mention names, but a time will come when we may have to. This comes on the back of the party's resolve to recover proceeds of corruption through the Operation Recover All Loot and prosecute persons found culpable. Already, some officials of the previous government are being investigated for alleged corrupt practices. According to the General Secretary, the electoral success of the party was hinged on the quest of the electors to get things done right. To get the right things done, yes. Mr. Kwete believes development has stifled in the country due to dishonesty on the part of people put in positions. He said that people want what is right, and what is right needs to be done. The NDC General Secretary further called on the Attorney General's office to stay resolute in the fight against corruption. Now, Attorney General, please continue to be strong, continue to be firm, and you and your team, if you succumb to a problem, will be you. You observe that the persons who stand in to cut the deals for persons culpable will turn around to blame the office for inefficiency. Now, Professor Kwekwaza, the accountant and lawyer, now, weighs into this matter and says that, now, if you look at today's New Republic, that story is on page 11. US-based professor's 10-step blueprint to save oral as NDC bigwigs caught in backroom deals. It says Fifikwete's bold expose of some National Democratic Congress towards cutting deals with corrupt officials has sent shockwaves through the country. As citizens watch, hoping for the Mahama government to deliver on its promise of a fearless anti-corruption crusade, the revelations have raised serious doubts. One of the most vocal critics of this development is the renowned US-based Ghanaian Professor Stephen Kwekwasa, popularly known as Kwekwasa. The academic and activist didn't mince words, expressing his shock and commending the NDC General Secretary Fifi Fiavikwete for his bravery. Professor For Professor Azar, Quater's outburst is a wake-up call for the government to handle its flagship anti-corruption policy, Operation Recover All Loot, with the utmost transparency and precision. While the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has initiated a few prosecutions, a long list of corruption scandals remains untouched. Determined to see the oral campaign succeed, Kweku Azar has laid out a comprehensive 10-point plan for the government to follow. And if you look at today's Radio Republic, it's published a 10-point plan. But let me just read two of that. Now, among his key recommendations are aligning oral with national interests, public naming and shaming of anyone who tries to obstruct justice, and prosecuting those who attempt to cut deals for looters. He also advocates for an independent oversight body to ensure transparency. So, if you want to get a 10-point, recommendation, you may want to grab today's New Republic and read it. But so, Adam, what do you know about this issue?
Well,
first of all, do you know the people?
No, certainly not. But let me also commend our General Secretary for the honesty. He was brutally honest when I listened to his presentation. Rather than see this as a negative, I see it as the General Secretary, the Chief Executive Officer of the NDC, our structures, the head of the party's administration is the General Secretary. And it is the party that gave birth to the government. Eventually, it is not government that will be on the ticket in 2028. It will be the party.
Right.
And so, as a party officer or official, as a principal party official, he has a responsibility to ensure that at all times the party is protected, the party's ideals are protected, and the values that we stand for as a party are protected. And so I have no doubt that the General Secretary's comments, remarks at the just ended NDC Lawyers Conference are geared towards improving even the electoral fortunes of the party, are geared towards protecting the party, because eventually, even though it is a party that gave birth to the government, the performance of the government will have an impact on the performance of the party going into 2028.
Right.
And the difficulty for most parties is that when in government, it becomes very difficult to separate the party from the government because there are thin lines. For example, as we speak today, most of the officers of the party have been given executive appointments. Mm-hmm. And so, in 2028, they cannot go back to the people and say, oh, that was government. Now we are here as a party. Because the same individuals, the same people playing these roles. And so he has that responsibility to always make sure that the party is put in check. And I do not find anything wrong or awkward or weird about his remarks. Really. It was a caution. And it's a caution that we all know these things exist. We know because in our system, pastors, chiefs, community leaders, and people, influential people from all walks of life, usually try to intervene in such cases. But even at the local level, when people are arrested, in fact, this weekend I was dealing with a case where some young people committed an offense and were arrested, and the families organized Sunday dawn. They were in my house, coming to plead with me as MP, to plead with the police so that they will be granted bail and all of that. So we all know that in our system where influence, so chiefs, pastors, religious leaders, and across board, these things where they plead for people, even when people are arrested, we all know that even when people are arrested, don't you listen to or don't we know of the very big, the very influential, and they don't necessarily have to be politicians.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily, mostly they are not even the politicians. So the General Secretary is only encouraging the AG. And Moro, I know Dr. Ayine, among all of us, even in Parliament, those who have worked closely with him, everybody attests to the fact that the gentleman is not one of the people that you can push around. If he says he will prosecute you, if he has a case, he will. And one of the reasons why I recall, and I have to say this on air, that about 3 months ago, we met in Parliament, and I asked Dr. Ayine that, Doc, it appears people are thinking that oral is being slow. And he gave me a response that I consider very profound. And I will say it on air. He said, bro, I don't want to rush and go to court and lose cases. That will be damaging to oral more than a delay. And I am preparing, these were his words, watertight cases such that by the time we get to court,
you can win.
It's because in a criminal, when it comes to criminal cases, it is basic that you must prove beyond reasonable doubt. So he said, look, I am preparing watertight dockets on all the cases. And so by the time we start the prosecutions, we will not go. And we know in this country in the past, there have been several instances where government takes similar cases of corruption, even when very gargantuan amounts were involved. But on technical basis and some frivolous basis, government lost those cases. And those individuals were set free. And he said he is preparing watertight evidence such that when he goes to court, everybody will be convinced that it's not it is neither witch hunting nor just an attempt to satisfy. And so he was working on them. Everybody knows that Dr. Ayine is not somebody that those pleas from either chiefs and big people in government, ministers and co could get to. The General Secretary knows that, so he was only encouraging him to be firm, to continue being resolute. So I don't see this as an expose, because we all know, you see, sometimes, Boro, we behave as though it is the first time we are hearing that people try to interfere or intervene when others are being prosecuted. So the General Secretary, like I said, as the Chief Executive Officer of the party, was only admonishing his appointees, was admonishing the lawyers that, look, let us not forget that Ghanaians voted for us because they wanted us to do things right. So those individuals who all of a sudden are trying to cut deals, so he was admonishing us to stay resolute. More again, I have said on your platform before that the NDC, just like any political party, is a human institution. Okay. It is not possible to have 100% of NDC members aligned on an issue. Again, as we are here, we have friends, relatives in other political parties and in other institutions. We are friends. Okay. There are people in NDC whose twin brothers are in the NPP.
True. But Adam, let's watch this video and I'll come.
I wish I could conclude. Yes.
Yeah, sure. You talked about people's relatives being in different parties. Let's watch this video before Adam continues.
If it's to be done, it must be done well. And to be done well means it has to be thoroughly done, proper due diligence. The job must be properly done. And you are the lawyers, so you should know. If you say righteousness and justice should be the foundation, it must be. So you cannot in one breath be making proclamations that are condemning those who are on the other side, while you yourself are part of the system that want to subvert the same laws and the same constitution, the same rights things from being done. So you should be the first point of making sure things are done properly. That's the only way we can establish a society that will be truly great and strong. My first thing. My second thing is this. And Attorney General, I'm sure the pressure is mounting. we at the level of the party are picking the signals. And the signals we are picking is this: that many among us, in spite of the fact that pleas and the pressure coming from the public that the things have to be done properly, punishment must be exacted, and things have to be done, some among us are busy trying to cut deals with people who are supposed to be prosecuted. Some among us are trying to cut deals. Some are becoming conduits through whom pressure is being brought to bear on people who are supposed to do what is right. I'm not mentioning names. A time may come where we may have to. A word to the wise. Some know themselves, those who are. We are hearing your names. Think again. Because this victory was achieved largely because the people of Ghana wanted the right things done. Some know themselves, those who are. We are hearing your names. Think again. Because this victory was achieved largely because the people of Ghana wanted the right things done. Not for deals to be cut. For them to say, okay, now that we are on the other side, we cut deals so that tomorrow you also can get a deal cut. No, it won't happen. If it's to be done, it must be done well. And to be done well means it has to be thoroughly done, proper due diligence. The job.
Well, if it must be done, then it must be done well.
Fantastic delivery. So I was surprised because I was busy in the constituency over the weekend. I came, I read people on social media writing, the General Secretary misspoke, and other things. I took my time, looked for the video, and I watched it over and over again. And I said that the General Secretary deserves a standing ovation. And this may be strange only to people who do not know Fifi Kwete. Fifi has always been a very principled leader. Very principled gentleman. Principled in his convictions that public service and public officials must have integrity at all times. And he has maintained that. And that is why he's bold enough to speak about these things. And he must be applauded. He deserves the commendation. I don't know why anyone would want to have an issue with what he said. He actually said, if it must be done, it must be done well. It must be done, a thorough work must be done. And he said, people are busy trying to cut deals. Why? Is it strange? Is it the first time we are hearing that?
Right.
When people are arrested, chiefs, very big chiefs, pastors, and other influential people in society attempt to intervene on their behalf.
Right.
We have even heard audios. We've heard audios where, big people, try to intervene in similar cases. I'm on Metro TV, so I can say. Recently, when Paul Adomo Ochi was invited by Yoko, when he came out, there was a video where he was commending people who tried to intervene or stood by him. He mentioned chiefs, didn't he? He mentioned big politicians. He mentioned pastors. And so the Honorable Fifi Kwete only cautioned that in the NDC, as a party, we will not accept that. And so those who want to be cutting deals, he was cautioning them not to proceed. He was cautioning them to stop because they will be exposed. So he deserves the commendation, and we need leaders like him in our public space.
Let me ask you this, Adam.
Yes.
So I'm the chief scribe of a political party. I'm
Yes.
privy to some information. I am being made aware that Kwame, Efia, Kwejo, Nanaba, whoever, it's just for the sake of argument. I'm not saying
Yes.
these names. Yes. Are making an attempt.
Yes.
To interfere with justice or to interfere with prosecutions. Isn't that in itself a crime? So that, shouldn't have Fifi Kwete submitted a list of these persons who are doing this to the appropriate quarters for them to be dealt with, beyond the public pronouncements?
Moro, what the General Secretary said clearly, you can deduce from his speech that he was sending a word of caution. It does not mean that he, as General Secretary, is privy to all the names or privy to the people who are involved in this. But he's speaking out of experience. He knows.
In fact, when you watch the video,
yeah, he says some among us are trying to.
Yes, and he says that if they don't stop,
yes,
at the right time, he will start exposing people.
So that's what I'm saying. That
so the impression I get is that he knows them,
and so he may not even be privy to everybody. Maybe some have been brought to his attention. All this. That's what I think. That some have been brought to his attention. Maybe it's just too what. So he's sending a word of caution that we will not tolerate that.
Okay.
I think that it is right. And even when in a case of defamation, for example, the law permits that initially you ask the person to retract, you caution. If the person refuses, apologize, retract before you proceed to go to court. So basically, he's just re-echoing the party's position and the party's no tolerance for corruption.
Okay.
I think that the General Secretary must be commended for his speech at the lawyers' conference. Again, that should be an encouragement to everybody out there that we have a party that will not condone wrongdoing.
All right.
And we have a leadership that will not accept for our values to be debased in the way we have seen in the past by others.
All right.
Fifi Kwete deserves a commendation for his principled stance on these issues.
All right, Elvis.
Okay, so fantastic one there. I mean, I needn't add much to the angle that have to do with as to whether or not Fifi Kwete did well saying what he did.
Okay.
If I were to be in his position as a chief scribe of a party or an influential government functionary, I should definitely be interested in ensuring that ill-motivated individuals who've been given opportunity to serve in the government do not take an opportunistic capitalization of same to build wealth and repeat the mistakes that once took the NDC out of power and actually also saw the failure of other political systems, both in the country and outside. But Moro, you see, let us be systematic and chronological in our understanding of what just happened. There is actually, beyond the politics, a psychological aspect of the principal stance Mr. Fifi Kwete have just taken. And I am just asking myself, you would realize that as it stands now, the man was speaking from a position of frustration. So then, to make the argument that he may just have been merely cautioning will just be the first layer of it. If you were to cut the onion deep, you will get to the understanding that there are deeper roots that are beginning to emerge from the, administrative prosecution of oral. And the General Secretary of the ruling party is concerned knowing what is going to be. You see, in this country, we shouldn't be oblivious of how similar, fight against corruption mechanisms ended. You remember, in our own government, when we came to power very determined with the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to fight corruption. In our quest to dig down into the roots others have done, we ran into scandals, including the popular Kroll and Associates issue. Now, in this same country, oral, which I supported and still support, provided it is legal in its approach to doing things, I still support oral. The fact of the matter is that in the early days of this regime, I think this should be around April when Richard Jakpa and his team raised the troubling concern of some container with gold bars and dollars at Sapema. We also recall that a similar operation was actually conducted at East Legon. What have become of those things? The next story we heard about the Sapema gold issue was that they were fake and some are even peeling off. Granted that they were fake, Oral must be very interested in the element of criminal mindedness of people, not only the obvious tangible, dealings. So then, in our criminal jurisprudence, especially when it comes to things like, money laundering and all of that, keeping counterfeit gold, keeping counterfeit dollars, mere possession alone, Moro, is criminal culpability and should be prosecuted. So why are we not hearing anything again about that particular matter? And the many other hints, noise were made about. These things goes into a perceived failure of oral. Now, you also realize that there is a troubling trend. And what is that troubling trend? We are now being told that some of the people who actually are supposed to be prosecuted for oral, are going into plea bargains to surrender a certain amount of whatever the loot has been, 60%, 70%. And yesterday I was listening to Martin Pebu, who is part of the oral team, and even before its inception have been extremely very vocal about the need to tackle corruption. And he was saying, well, the strategic objective of oral is not just to throw people to jail. That jailing people is not their particular objective, but with the going by the literal implication of the name, Operation Retrieve or Loot. Their interest was to recover and retrieve the loot. My brother, can we be serious with our fight against corruption? Are we saying that anybody can go into public office, steal money, with the view that, okay, if I steal $10 million and even go out of government, I can go into a plea bargain or arrange with whatever body it is to surrender 6 million and still benefit 4 million? Isn't that 4 million going to be to the detriment of the Ghanaian people? You see, so these are things that are definitive of shifting stance of government's position on oral. They cannot run away from it. And so these are the issues, in my belief, that have troubled Mr. Fifi Kwete. Principled as he is, a standing ovation as he may have deserved, these are the real underlying issues that are troubling Mr. Fifi Kwete. And so he has realized that he must talk about it because those happenings are gradually undermining the strategic purpose of oral and will definitely reduce it, or with the propensity of reducing it to mere sloganeering. And the failure of oral will be very telling on this government. Even before this oral thing took proper momentum, my brother, the government was cautioned that the conception of the idea could be good. But there are a lot of lessons to learn in previous stance of governments to fight against corruption. Manasseh Azuri was outspoken in one of his write-up where he commended, or I think he titled it, landmine, that some caption around that.
I've read it.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
And he was very emphatic in his admonishment to the president that, look, this rush to having oral rolled out could become that mad dog you will rear to bite your own administration. And I still believe that is actually what is beginning to be at play. Like my brother Adam said, when it comes to these acts of corruption, we need to understand that public sector corruption and political corruption are facilitated by criminal syndicates, not individuals. It is an entire unholy value chain of politicians.
Okay.
And when you have people who are interested in making money in public affairs, they make noise in opposition, and when they have the opportunity to rule, then you start beginning to see the justification for deal cuts. I think that a 1%, cut in deal without appropriate prosecutionary force to see corrupt people rot in jail, okay, and to actually see them pay for their sins is a failure unto oral. So the government must not attempt to shift the goalpost. And when I talk about the government, I mean the government and any other person who have to do with these things. The lesson we can then learn is that the frustration of the General Secretary is one that is anchored on a huge Pandora's box, which he couldn't have said on that particular platform. So I agree with you. He knows. And the statement he made was emphatic. And if we were to analyze the semantics thereof, you will realize that he said that some of those people are busy trying to cut deals with people who should be prosecuted. The statement was emphatic. The people fighting oral, some, he didn't say all, some, busy trying to cut deals. This is an emphatic statement that suggests that, one, he knows that there are nefarious deal-cutting activities happening, and two, he knows whom these individuals are. So the caution was directly said on the forum where these people will hear it. If you enter into the market space, if you jump into the Tangasia market and you say that you're big head, actually, among the multitudes in the market, your likely target knows that he is the one you are insulting. Fifi Koite's caution goes to specific people who have already gone into unholy alliance with people who may have stolen and looted against the state. And so, what else can we say? We are watching and we are ready to support. In the early days of oral, I dared my own appointees in our previous administration that don't run away. If you know you are not corruptible, come out and say it. Present yourself. So that we can distinguish between too much talking. Sometimes I think the NDC is still in a campaign mood when it comes to certain things, especially in their early days. But I think that there are important lessons to learn. Another issue we have to talk about on this whole thing is that, are we seeing a rising disconnect between the government and the party? Is a question I'm asking. Is the position suggestive that some of these government functionaries are beginning to oppose the very ideals and philosophies of the party? And this has been the worry for Mr. Fifi, to want to remind them that, and like Adam said, the party bonds the government. So these people, as part of this caution, I think are reminded that the fact that you've been given ministerial appointments, and the fact that you are in cabinet, and the fact that you are sitting in a state agency where you have leverage to deal with these things, does not mean you should forget the party stance. And if that is the case, then it means that there is a troubling disconnect between these government functionaries and their core parent, which is the broader NDC party. But in all of these things, what policy lessons can we learn from this? Moro, it is instructive for us to remind government in, government out that fighting corruption goes beyond sloganeering, and it actually goes beyond the duplicating and triplicating of bureaucracy. I have always maintained that we don't need all of these structural frameworks to actually fight corruption. And this is the problem with the governments we have seen. If you want to fight corruption, look, we've got enough state entities. We've got a lot of institutional bodies within the framework we have, the national security framework, the legal framework, and all of that, to deal with these situations. Where you weigh public sentiments with oral, where 80% of the conversations that are centered in it are tied to, using the media, and this is something the Attorney General himself is doing. You are quick to come to the media to read a litany of things that actually condemns people who are still suspects and make us believe they are culpable in the court of public opinion. And then you tell your little brother Adam that you are building a fat dossier, watertight, so that when you go to court, you quickly win the case. You don't, as an officer of the court, you don't, and a lawyer, you don't determine the processes. Are you getting it? That is my understanding of what you said.
What I said
you said he's building a watertight.
So because you see, we have had let me just come in quickly. In the past,
in 1 minute of my time, I guess
we've had situations where government attempted prosecuting people, and some based on just technical reasons. The case was struck
in
out.
Criminal culpability tomorrow. I'm not buying this because
what he said, what he said is that he wants to go with watertight evidence so that he's sure.
No, but this is exactly what I said.
No, but you're saying that he doesn't deter. It doesn't mean that you must be convinced by your own argument.
I am coming. No, if you are not convinced,
don't draw him into the judiciary. No, I don't.
No, I'm not drawing him. I'm not drawing. So but if you understood my argument, I didn't draw him in.
A picture that
no, I painted a
he was going to determine the process.
No, that is not what I said. He had already determined the fate of these people. Moro, my argument was that if you know that the factual evidential basis upon which your case must be built are not conclusive, what then is the purpose for the needless public and PR work that the Attorney General is doing? And I was very selective in my words that you do so and create a condemnable picture about these people. And after creating a condemnable picture about them, you have created in the minds of public opinion that these are thieves. We saw it in the NSS issue and most of the other issues. So one would have believed that they have gathered enough evidence, and he himself said it. Play back some of the Attorney General's videos, and you realize that he became very conclusive that they've gotten everything it takes to go and win the case. And my argument is that, and this shows that I'm not drawing him into the judiciary, no matter how tight your files are, you don't determine the process, right? Is it not the court, the judiciary have a way? We are not disagreeing. I'm just taking from what he is saying. And I'm saying that, and I'm not trying, bro, I'm not trying to do anything. You know that the Attorney General, when it comes, because of the sensitivity of criminal prosecution within our criminal jurisprudence system, which you yourself acknowledge is sensitive and requires tact, coming then to the media space, to say the kind of thing we have heard in this country, and 9 months down the lane, we've not even seen any serious presentation of these people being arraigned in court to even plead guilty or not guilty. That is a worrying trend. And I'm saying that these things, in trying to find the answer, whether there's a disconnect between government and the party, these may have been the things Mr. Fifi's were. That notwithstanding, kudos to Mr. Fifi for his principled stance. I believe in a government that is able to take your own on. And if this is how we go, we can be sure of sanctity in our democracy. But for oral, we are monitoring and we are being with them. They must prosecute people.
All right, so let me read just 2 messages and then we'll take a short break and then we'll come back and we'll try and wrap because it looks like
30 minutes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, sorry. In 30 seconds, there's no disconnect between the party and the government. There's no disconnect.
Right.
But like I said earlier, the General Secretary has an ultimate responsibility to the party. And so he's only trying to re-echo the party's position. But I must say that the party and the government are working very well together. It's a matter of relationships. It can always be better. But where we are today, there's no disconnect between the party.
All right, so Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm is a regular viewer on the show. So we value and cherish our regular viewers, you know, and also those of you who are just joining the show, you're watching it for the first time, we value you too. Now, Alhaji Hamza Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. In my humble opinion, we need answers from the General Secretary of the NDC. Now, this statement made by the General Secretary should not be left in the vacuum. It should be made to name the names of these NDC lawyers who are trying to cut deals with former corrupt appointees. This statement has a lot of implications against the party because the good people of this country voted for the NDC. Simple for us to hold former appointees accountable. We cannot afford to fail them, else we shall pay for it in 2028. A lot is going on in the NDC. Appointees are not picking calls from the grassroots who fought hard for the victory of the NDC in 2024. We should be very, very careful. I have said my own. Anyway. All right, so Gaiji, he's from Cantonment. I'm a proud MP. I'm proud MPP anytime, any day, and I have nothing wrong with what the NDC General Secretary said during the NDC Lawyers Conference. What is wrong with him slamming and exposing lawyers who are cutting deals to shield some corrupt former officials? Let's bear in mind, Ghana first. In fact, Fifi Kwete needs to be commended. That's your very good friend, Guy GC, who thinks that Fifi Kwete should rather be commended for the comments that he made. There are a number of other birthday dedications, but I won't do them now. I'll take a short break. When I come back, my guests are still here. We're weighing on some other issues that are making the rounds. Please stay with us.
Confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal toothpaste. Kel Charcoal toothpaste. You're on a kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo kendini ehu be hia se metwa sapapade to ama me manfo Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients eno ene bo me se ho ban e ma ne sren ne sanso mama hotoso e wo bedwam.
Kel Charcoal toothpaste.
Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Healthy soil is where every great harvest begins. At ACAP, we turn waste into wealth, producing rich organic compost made right here in Ghana for our farmers and our future. Whether you are planting small or big, ACAP compost improves your soil, boosts your yields, and saves you money. Even in your own home garden, give your soil life naturally. ACAP compost, from waste to wealth.
Wabedum tamaso J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozig. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji! I'll cause some discomfort. Ah! Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was mosquito call is to do woman. Na say spray with them, sir. Chaisima a dronum and sana codynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with Dr. Elvis Bota, who is MPP, former MPP Deputy National Organizer and Electra, UPSA, and also Eric Edem Agbana, Ketu North MP, and a passionate youth activist. Now, gentlemen, Elvis, what's happening in your party with this whole talk about development fee? I don't know whether this was something that was communicated to the aspirants of your of your party before they even decided to pick their nomination forms and subsequently filing them? Or it is something that they only found out after the fact? Okay. But before then, I'm interested in finding out from, just as I've done with some of your colleagues, have you pitched camp already? People are pitching camps. So
when it comes to internal politics, you must have a position.
You must have a position.
And so I do clearly have a position.
Okay.
Why lately I have decided to be mute about my exact kind of position is because I do not believe that the fact that we have positions, we should be seeing what we are seeing out there. Okay. You see, the internal contest have been reduced into an attacking machinery on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's candidature in 2024. And even beyond that, it attacks the legacy of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government. What that does to the NPP is that tomorrow, in fact, on the 31st of January, primaries will be over. One of the 4 or 5 competent people who have filed nominations will eventually become flag bearer. How do we market the candidate when obvious attacks on our own legacy, which hasn't been bad anyway, has been attacked? Because anybody who will become a flag bearer next will actually prosecute an election on the basis of our legacy. We lost in 2024 partly because my party and government failed to effectively communicate our achievements in this country. Okay. And in the coming days, some of us will preach the realities on points of facts, okay, with empirical data and in a matching method that shows a comparative analysis of what we have achieved in various sectors vis-a-vis other governments and what this government is beginning to achieve. We will do that objective analysis. Okay. We will praise if we have to praise. We will criticize if we have to criticize.
But the fact is that you've taken a decision.
Yes, I have my stance. You see, I will soon state it. I've been telling people that once you see me out there, I've already made some pronouncements out there.
Oh, okay.
And but my position is that why are we fighting ourselves so much because of an internal election?
No, I get that. We'll get
consistency. Let me give you the consistency is fundamentally key in this.
Right.
The 2024 elections defeat for the NPP.
Okay.
I repeat, on the basis of a number of matrices, was the case of a non-existent party, okay, and not a weak candidate. Thank you. Let's go to 4 million. 2024's defeat for the NPP was the case of a non-existent party and not necessarily a weaker candidate.
Okay.
Now, the fundamental variables that culminated into what I conceptualize and perceive as a weak party are some of the wranglings we are having. I'm saying that enough of it.
Okay.
We will come out strongly. The NPP is coming out strongly, and we are prosecuting a better game. We will have a change in the game, and we are going to win elections 2028.
So who do you support?
Why are you insistent on the who I support?
Your colleagues have been here. They've declared.
And they are asking. And I'm saying that I will eventually, the job day ground, we are doing the job out there.
Okay.
And I have told you that we need to be consistent as a party. And I've told you that the defeat in 2024 on the basis of the internal wrangling have got nothing to do with a weaker candidate. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was not weak.
Okay.
Are you getting it? It was the case of a non-existent party.
But
I'm saying that if I want to analyze these situations here, we are going to collapse the very foundation for the party.
No,
what I want to talk about.
What other reason do you have for supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
What other reason? I am not sure I have particularly stated my positionality on who I support yet.
Okay. All right.
And I am saying that 2024 was not the case of a weak candidate.
I hear you.
It was the case of a non-existent party that sabotaged a competent leader in the person of Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
And you see, the good news going forward in 2028 is even the fact that about 3 of the people who are contesting, their competence to lead a nation is not in question. So why are we harming ourselves? So in the spirit of that advocacy for unity, if I now sit here and tell you that for the purposes of today, I think that this is my support base, then the unity I have called for and the analysis I have made doesn't make sense. So I'm saying that
Democratic Party,
I'm saying that consistency. Yes, and I have made a free choice.
Yeah, so you state
and I'm saying that consistency is key. I'm saying that competency matters. And I'm saying that 2024 was a case of a competent flag bearer who unfortunately found himself with a party that was not well organized to prosecute a crucial election such as elections 2024. And you see, on the basis of a weaker party, my brother Edem and his party had a free ride with propaganda that won them election. And now we want to take the bull by the horn, reorganize, and come back and inshallah, we are making a president. You know why I didn't answer your question outright. I am thinking the way your eyes went on your phone before the question, bro. It's like some interested parties wants to. But when you see me out there campaigning for he who is competent.
Listen, all I'm saying is that for me,
is the money I was still looking for. I would have picked form and begged some 4 years, 5 years from your age to be 40 years to contest.
For me, all I can say from everything you've said is that a word to the wise is enough, isn't it?
You see, we have to be scientific.
But let's don't worry. We'll have a whole conversation about why you lost and
we have a plan, so don't worry.
It's a whole conversation we can have. I mean, we've had it anyway, but we can always bring it back. It's not a problem. But Kenneth Japan, I mean, he's I'm sure he's a very good friend, big brother, etc. He's one of the biggest financiers of your party. He's been a 5-time MP, Asin Central. I mean, he's talked about how he's been supporting the party for the longest time, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But this time round, he has some really, really grave and very, very serious concern. It has to do with some 4 million CDs that your party is demanding of persons who are, persons who are aspiring to lead your party into the 2028 elections. And he's been on several platforms to complain about this. Now, the story has been captured online. It's everywhere. It says Kenneth Japan has criticized the New Patriotic Party for imposing what he described as an exorbitant 4.6 million CDs charge on aspirants vying for the party's flag bearer position. He revealed that while he initially paid 100,000 CDs for the nomination form and 500,000 to file it, he was shocked when he was informed of an additional 4 million CDs development fee. He admits he initially dismissed the demand as a prank, as if it were a joke. And I'm quoting him, as if it were a joke. I was given a deadline for the 5th, he said. So filing and contesting cost me a combined 4.6 million CDs. Now, the former member of parliament and businessman...
cost him 4.6.
Yes. Now, the former member of parliament and businessman condemned the demand, calling it a shameful thing that happened. And I'm going to quote him again. Can you believe that? Can you believe the 5 contestants have been asked for 4 million CDs each as development fee because the party does not have a dime? Addressing party members on his campaign trail, Japan reaffirmed his dedication to the wealth of the party and its supporters. He said, you also know what is good and beautiful. If your husband or child had a job, if your child's bright future could guarantee your prosperity, so party welfare is very important to me. We need to build this party, he said. So, Kwabena Japan, he's not alone. Actually, Kwabena J. Japan, who's a former general secretary, a former press secretary, is also very, very livid about this 4 million charge for development fee. Are you able to help us understand what the thinking behind this 4 million CDs development fee is all about?
Yes. Fundamentally, you see, there again, let me be very factual and objective as I can always be on matters like this. In the culture of global political history, it is not weird in any political organization to charge aspirants a certain nomination fee with a concentrate that can be divided into what will go in for development and so on and so forth. You know, and I know, that running political organizations is so expensive. And we've all been crying about the monetization of our politics because of some of these things. But we have not, at the state level, been able to come out with clear-cut legal and political frameworks that are able to curb the incidence of the monetization of our politics. And this has put a lot of political organizations, including the NPP and the NDC, who are, by the way, the lead role players of same in our country, to charge these kind of fees. In the NPP, it would be hypocritical for anybody to sound that the charging of development levy as part of our nomination processes is novel. I have been a two-term parliamentary candidate for the Nadoli-Kaleo constituency. And my brother, on both occasions, I picked nomination forms and pay filing fee. And inherent in that filing fee has always been a development levy. Now, why then are people crying? Because in all presidential and parliamentary nominations, this element of development levy has always been part of it. So when very experienced politicians begin to sound as though it's new, they did not expect it, when they have in the past gone through the process, then there is something fundamentally wrong. And I don't like it when we play the ostrich. Playing the ostrich does not help anybody. Okay. The purpose for always taking these development levies is to ensure that the party is able to rise up to financing the huge cost that accompanies such internal politics. That's number one. Number two, the philosophical basis for it is for it to serve as a filter. You see, if you reduce the bar too low, you will find what we call a nuisance contest in political terms, where people will just run in and pick forms. They have no constituency anywhere. They may not get 2 votes, but they will make the loudest noise and behave in a way that destroys party unity. So for a party that suffers internal structural issues that took us to opposition, okay, internal party issues that took us to opposition, okay, to open up the floodgates for people to rush in, to gush in to a contest, it may lead to what we saw in 2007 in the case of what is jovially called the 17 fools in the NPP, where we are 17 people, and we saw how that cost us in the 2008 election. So I believe, and I'm not speaking from an authoritative position from National Council because I wasn't there when the resolution was taken. My tenure ended. But this is one of the reasons. The other argument that can be advanced from the other side has always been the case that, if you do that, you are depriving poor people from the opportunity to contest. And we saw that in Francis Adenimo's position. And we are seeing that in the conversations, you know, Mr. Engineer Kobina Japan is advancing. But, Moro, let me expose another hypocrisy of some of these contendants here. We have seen some of these contendants complaining today who have been verbose about the millions of dollars they have sunk in Dr. Bawumia's campaign in 2024. They have mentioned figures. I was watching a video of, I think, Brian Achampong telling party faithfuls how much he spent on each parliamentary candidate alone, monthly. He said he was giving up to about 100,000 Ghana cedis monthly to individual parliamentary candidates, especially in the eastern region. If you have spent that money, why then are you turning around to have a problem with spending 4 million, which is to have your commitment that you are making a huge investment in the party and so you will not destroy the party. That is also another psychological angle for such a levy, that if you go into your investment to put such colossal sums of money into your party, then you must be interested in the political growth of that party so that in the short to long run, the party, the nation, and you yourself can benefit from a formidable political organization. So to complain can only be hypocritical of people who claim they have spent millions. So I don't see it as a surprise because it has always been the case for us. Apart from Brian Champong and Educhum, I think that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Honorable Kennedy Ajapong, whom you describe as my friend, and rightly so he is, because me, when you are competent in my party, I like you. Then Engineer Kobina Japong also have been a competent general secretary, in whose regime as general secretary, aspirants for various parliamentary and presidential roles actually pay development levy as part of nomination. How then is this a surprise? These three people have at least contested in the last primaries. In the case of Engineer Kobina Japong, he contested and has won 7 or 9 votes in 2007. I'm not sure, in the MPP's primaries then. So they cannot be oblivious. Engineer cannot be oblivious. My good friend, Honorable Kennedy Ajapong, cannot be oblivious of the relevance of this kind of fee. Maybe the conversation is about the amount. And if the conversation is about the amount, again, it gains justification in my argument that, especially in opposition, you want to ensure that people are careful about what they invest and the fact that they must protect what they've invested. So yes, you can make the argument, but in any event, we need seriously minded people who are capable, both with material and intellectual resources, to become flag bearers to lead this party back into government. We have no business with incapability at this point of our history. The NPP is not going to settle for incapability. We are not going to settle for incapacity, whether by intellect, whether by resources, or your ability to attract them.
Okay.
If you are going into a serious contest such as a presidential contest, Moro, you must have leverage beyond your personal financial power. Your ability to mobilize resources for the party to run a good race is a critical prerequisite to our choice of a flag bearer. So those complaining about this money are exposing an inherent weakness that they are not prepared to lead the party in the 2028 election.
How about those who also say that my problem may not necessarily be about my ability to raise the funds,
okay,
and to use same to
help run the party? Yeah.
Yes, but question is, shouldn't I decide what I think that is value for whatever amount of money I intend to spend? And when you listen to them, so for instance, your very good friend, Gaiji,
yeah,
from Cantonment, he sent me a video of a dynamo, okay, and he's also complaining about the same problem. So even if I have that 4 million, is it the case that the people do not find a compelling reason, okay, or they do not find, what I'll call for them, it doesn't make sense for them to spend such an amount on development fees, especially when there's party dues that people are supposed to be paying.
Yeah.
Do you get the point I'm making?
Yeah.
So don't you think that's where the conversation is about? I mean, not necessarily about what you spent in the past and you are worth so and so, but whether you find a reason to spend such an amount as development fees on your political party. Even
Gaji,
if you have it.
It's good you mentioned Gaji. He's my very good friend and brother. Yes. And we have cooked things. Okay. And he knows my position on similar aspects of our party. If it is wrong, it is wrong. You see, conventionally, it has not been our practice that the aspirants decide the value.
Yes.
National Council sets the bar. If you assess yourself, the foundational step for such a contest, a huge one like a presidential contest, even in advanced democracies, is self-assessment. It means that you've assessed yourself critically. So when National Council, in broader consultation with the hierarchy of the party, and in tandem with the ethos of what the political climate is, you find a situation where they set a standard much earlier and allow you assess yourself on the basis of that. If you know you can't proceed, you eat the humble pie as my father Adainimo have done. As for Honorable Kennedy Ajapon.
Okay.
As for Honorable Kennedy Ajapon, an industrialist, a businessman, an entrepreneur who have employed many, I have argued that his candidature has no problem because this country have witnessed people from various professions who have ruled. Okay. And so if he says he wants to contest, and he's contesting, nobody in the party should be acrimonious against him. Okay. However, on the basis of this particular entrepreneurial drive he is in, he is worth far more than this amount.
But does he see a reason to spend 4 million?
So yes, he must see reason to spend it, because I believe from things he has said, he may have probably spent more than this amount on the NPP. Right. So what then is the question now? What we can support them say and do is that they must ensure that usually when these monies are collected, the intended strategic thoughts that goes into what we codename development. You see, the development is not about building things. It's a code name. It's a security term there. Strategy development that will let us win. They must ensure that people don't steal the money and spend from the headquarters. They must ensure that it be used for the right purpose, whether they win this election or not. As for those who don't have it, they can exit the race as Francis Adenimo, the honorable former MP, have done.
We have 8 minutes to end the show.
Yes.
I'll give the 8 minutes to Adam so that we'll end it. I mean, so that's it's one issue.
Oh, he's my brother. If needs be, he'll give me 1 minute.
I was just hoping that in his submission he could help us find X. But he didn't help us. So let me that's what I like.
Listen, can I? No, let me find X. This equation is because it wasn't the topic. Let me show you where X is. You see, you can't be finding. No, in quadratic equations, where the coefficient is understood.
That's right.
Are you getting it?
That's right.
You cannot be struggling to have a fundamental denominator.
No problem.
The X in the MPP today, has always been in the equation. If we want to win the 2028 election, the evidence on the ground now, and this can be dispassionate of even where I stand. The evidence shows that the X is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
That is the reality. That is the X.
All right.
On the basis of prevailing research, on the basis of the reality of our politics, we have a lot of other variables. But today, research points to the fact that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is what? Is X. X have got the speed of time to win the 2028 election.
He said 1 million votes. It took President Mahama lost with almost 1 million votes.
My mathematics is very good.
Now that you have lost with 1.7 million votes, it will be equal to X years. So we should find before you can come to power. So we'll find the X. But on a more serious note,
it gives us 13.6.
On a more serious note,
it's a flawed mathematical argument.
So you have to tell Ken that
it's a flawed mathematical argument.
Ken, I didn't say it.
You see, political mathematics. No, he has challenged me to help find out. I'm saying that. I'm not speaking for Bawumia. I am speaking for the party's position, and I'm saying that the political mathematics is different from quadratic functions, so this principle will not hold.
So tell Ken that. So it's Ken.
Use your time well because take us off. Yes.
On a more serious note, on a more serious note, beyond finding X and all of that, that the MPP is struggling with, this issue of the 4 million is a conversation that both political parties must have.
Okay.
And Muru, I'll be very sincere with you that over the years, political parties, instead of finding innovative ways of getting people to contribute to the party's financing, they always want to take advantage of candidates.
Yeah.
I recall when I was contesting in my primaries to become member of parliament or to become the parliamentary candidate for my party. After you pick your forms, you pay. When you file, you pay. And before vetting, then they impose development levy. In my constituency, for example, we were made to pay an amount for the completion of the party's office. The office is a beautiful edifice. And we are proud whenever you drive to Joje and you look at the parties, or I can say that across the country, I doubt if there is any constituency that has a better or a more magnificent office than the Ketu North NDC office.
Okay. Really?
In fact, I am of the, I can give you the pictures. You can check it. I am even thinking that our party office
is better than the
is
original
bigger than many of the regional offices. In fact, our party office may be bigger than Greater Accra NDC regional office. And yes, very big, very magnificent building. I must commend my party chairman, constituency chairman, Chairman Adugbate, and the leadership, and my former MP, for this vision that they started, and later we are all contributing to. But that is no justification for how parties continuously want to take advantage of candidates in the name of these development levies and what have you. I don't think that it is proper.
Yeah.
You can ask candidates to contribute to the party's development or for party financing, but there must be a better way. Always tying it to nominations. It for me, it doesn't sit well with me. Let's find a way of getting the parties to run better. We have a number of options, and we can learn from best practice. Moro, when I was in school, because I took so much interest in the Obama campaign, I recall even signing up online. So even me, at the time, I've never been to America. I've never seen Obama. But at the time, I signed up, and we were asked to be contributing something later on. And then every single day, we're receiving updates on, the party's activities, the candidates' speeches, and all of that. We're getting it in our email.
I think I paid.
I was there. You paid too.
Paid it too.
Good.
Yeah.
I was just excited that I had the opportunity to follow keenly Obama's campaign at the time. And so we must find other ways of doing this rather than always putting all the burden on the candidates. What can we do, Moro? We have members. Can we have members, some paid up members, who continuously pay dues to their parties at the end of the month? In this day, in this digital age, it should be possible for parties to connect. So when you sign up to be a member of the NDC, you have your mobile money account or number attached to your registration. Then you are aware that every month 5 Ghana cedis or 10 Ghana cedis will be deducted from your Momo to help the party, because we need resources to run as a party. But because the parties have failed to get members to pay or to get people to contribute, to donate to the party, all the time they take advantage of people who want to run or contest, and then they impose all these development levy and these huge sums of money as filing fees. Number 2, I recall that when I was running for Deputy National Youth Organizer, my friends came up with an idea. Initially, I was a bit hesitant. They developed a short code, shared it among themselves. I still have that short code. And people were contributing. To amaze you to know that some people were sending me 2 Ghana cedis, 5 Ghana cedis, 10 Ghana cedis. But sometimes that is all that we needed to buy fuel and be on the round.
This was when you were contesting for
Deputy National Youth Organizer. So
I
replicated it. Yes, I replicated the same thing when I was running for Parliament as well. And so people contributed. When you do that, you give the people the opportunity to also contribute to your campaign. There are in other parts, and we may have to look at our jurisdiction well, because in some jurisdictions, I think in South Africa, for example, parties are allowed, a political party is allowed to have an investment or an interest. And so we may have, let's say, 10% shares in an insurance company or in a telco or something like that. We need to, our law does not
help us. Some time ago, the EC helped the inter-party, whatever, IPAC, to come out with a framework. What has become of it?
We need to do something like that, because
I think that's what the
when you do that, you reduce the burden so that the contest will no more be about I contributed the most. In this MPP race, one of the most disappointing things that I've heard is the fact that some of the candidates have reduced it to who has given more money to the party. You see, we understand that leadership should be more about the people. Where are the bold ideas? Where are the reforms that will put this country, on the path of progress. But nobody is speaking about that. It's about, I used to give all parliamentary candidates this amount of money. I have given this amount of money. It is because the parties have become very reliant or dependent on the individual. Let us find ways where every member can pay.
After telling us how rich you are, you've been built.
Let me take a few messages from our viewers online, and then we'll end the show. Yeah. But first of all, let me wish you a happy birthday, Mr. Cosmas Jansi, a retired accountant of the Ghana Highway Authority. Today we celebrate a kind, loving, and hard-working man. As your niece and now deputy head of technology at Metro TV, I'm grateful for your guidance and care. From me and the entire Jansi and Mausi family, we wish you good health, long life, and lots of happiness. So, Cosmas Jansi, a retired accountant of Ghana Highway Authority, today is your birthday. We say happy birthday. And also, let me say a happy birthday to a very good friend of mine. She's called Rosemond Obeng. Now, Rosemond Obeng is at the office of the president. She's a presidential aide. Today, you're celebrating your birthday. Why, Rosemond? You can tell me the age. Don't worry. We'll do the guessing. Anyway, so Rosemond Obeng, today is your birthday. Happy birthday. We wish you all the best, and we wish you far more than what you wish for yourself. So, good life, better health, and more riches. Yeah. So Rosemond Obeng, today's your birthday. Happy birthday. So you saw her on your screens. Now let me go and look at what our viewers on Facebook are saying. So Suglobi Fate says, good morning to you, Honorable Bota. Nice submission. The youth of Nandole Kaleo constituency are really proud of you. May God bless you for all that you've done for us. Okay. And also, let me look at this. Omar Farouk. Sabun Gida, but say Sabun Gida, no, it's Sabun Gida. But the NDC government is gradually suffocating freedom of speech in this country. This is the same party that once used a traditional in social media to smear past government with lies, deception, and propaganda just to win power. Today, they are arresting opposition voices in an attempt to silence and intimidate them from exposing the truth about insecurity. And then also, Alonyo Ebenezer says, great submission from our honorable this morning. Okay, now Mimi K says, Dr. Bota is really smart and articulate. Well done, Edem. Both are really speaking sense. And Amaria 1 says, NDC, if you play with oral, that will be the end of you. This same MP will come back and say you couldn't prosecute anyone. Okay. And, all right. So, okay. So once again, to you, Rosemond Obeng was the presidential aide at the office of the president. Today is her birthday. They didn't show a picture earlier, so we're now. Yes, that's her. Rosemond Obeng. She's a very good friend of Metro TV too. So yes, happy birthday to you, Rosemond Obeng. Yes.
Boris, your producer still at work.
Yes. Why? And yes, she's here.
Why? I saw some news the other day.
Why? Why you? What? Annie's around.
Annie's around. No, none of us expect she should be in London by now.
I saw something about London.
What's she doing in London? Metro TV is in Accra, Ghana. Is it London? Where is London for?
But we saw some. Is this an appointment to some
commission? Oh, people cry. What is that?
Oh, they will like to say hello after the show.
Annie says, I should tell you that she's now an international correspondent.
We are especially grateful for the steadfast support of the Chief of Staff, the Honorable Julius Debra, whose commitment to the Center and to the IOMP has been instrumental